Welcome back to the Forces of Freyja YouTube channel. I am Sam the Spiritist, and this is an additional channel that I have. You can find my main page on Instagram at Sam the Spiritist. You can find the link to that in the description box below this video, and the link to my website to book private one-on-one shamanic journeying sessions with me, which would be similar to readings but are done in a more clairvoyant as well as shamanic method, as those are my spiritual and psychic gifts that I utilize during my divination sessions. I also offer rune castings in some of my sessions, and I offer spiritual working consultations, as I am a 21 Divisions voodoo priestess as well as a Norse witch. So I offer spirit conjure working as well as spell workings, root workings, and more at samthespiritist.com. You can find all that information and the links in the description box below to contact me directly and work with me and my spirit guides. Now, today's message is brought to you by our wonderful Norse goddess of war, love, beauty, fertility, prosperity, Freyja. Thank you, Freyja, for today's message. Now let's get started. Today's message is brought to you by Norse goddess Freyja. Today she has, with this particular deck, she has already selected 3 runes, Ansus, Algis, and Urus, for us to work with. We'll start with Ansus. Ansus is represented over here on the first card here. It looks similar to a downward pointing F, and it actually represents the letter A in our modern alphabet today. It's associated with the god Odin and the ancestors, divine connection, so to speak, and working with your inner witch or wizard, working your own magic, okay? Communicating with the divine. Ansus today is making me feel from Freyja, it's more than just divination and divine connection that you need. You're already seeking this. However, you may be disconnected in the translation of the messages you're receiving. You're having a difficulty perhaps with interpreting what your spirit guides, what your ancestors are trying to tell you. You may be receiving signs, you may be receiving psychic visions or dreams, maybe having astral realm experiences, but you're not quite sure what they mean. This is where your ancestors and your spirit guides are saying that you need to learn more about this work. You need to either learn more about this work, or you need to consult with someone who knows how to interpret these things, a professional in this work, so that you're able to receive the full message, because many of you are not getting it. And this is important, because if you do not receive and understand the message, you may be lost. You may be confused. You may feel misguided because of an interpretation or an impartial interpretation where you're not really fully receiving the full message. You're receiving bits and pieces and assuming what they mean. But there are certain symbols, certain figures, certain pairings of symbols and figures and themes that will mean different things depending on the tradition in which either your ancestors may have come from and practiced, or your set of your spirit guides may be associated with. And this is important for receiving the right interpretation for you. This is why it's important to either practice ancestrally what your ancestors practiced, learn about it. And if you're not interested in doing that or willing to do that, able to do that, then finding someone who is connected with your ancestral practices. If you don't know your ancestral practices, it is very imperative, because these are the languages that your spirit guides, not just verbal languages, symbolic languages, magical languages that your ancestors worked with, that are key for you. Key. Sin is here holding the key. You have the key. Okay? They are key for you to understanding what you are seeing, what you are being shown, the symbols, the signs in life. It is key for you to understand this information, the languages of your ancestors, not just verbal, the magical, the spiritual, energetic languages, how they communicate, because words, verbal, is only one form of language. Much of the divine and elevated ancestors will speak in visions, with images. Knowing what these images represent is important. And if you don't know, you need to work on, at this time, becoming more in tune, excuse me, with, again, the ancient languages, magical, spiritual, energetic communication methods of your ancestors. Some of these are writings and carvings of images. Some of these will be feelings and visions of places. Spirit speaks in different images and visions. You need to be able to identify these places, meaning you need to learn more about the world. You need to learn more about history of these ancient cultures that are associated with you, your ancestors, your bloodline, your past lives, and your spirit guides, where they are from, where they may have incarnated into Earth. What time they incarnated into Earth will be important to begin to understand messages more fully. And if you can't do that yourself, if that overwhelms you, you need to seek out the counsel of someone who does understand, who does know these things. And that will be, again, linked to, a lot of times, your ancestors' spiritual practices and somebody who is a professional in those practices. Whether that's me working with the Loa and the mysteries of Light of the 21 Divisions of Voodoo and the Norse and Celtic mysteries that I work with, or if it's somebody that works in Santeria or Ifa or Lukumi, or who works a completely different practice on a different part of the world, somebody who is tied to Buddhist or Hindu traditions, that will be able to give you the information and interpret the messages that are meant for you. It is important for you to seek them if you are unable to do it for yourself. Algis Merkstav. Algis, usually right side up, is more associated with also divine protection. Now, in this pairing, Algis is more so talking about you protecting yourself and turning away. If you could see, it's upside down. The stav is upside down. Okay, and the protection is facing inward towards the goddess in here. If the protection is facing inwards towards her, she is protected, but she's extending outward a defense, a divine protection, and her sanctuary will not be penetrated. If you could see here, she holds the key and she also holds the scales of justice. This is representing judgment. So in this picture also you have a doorway behind her. The doorway that she has a key to, but she's not letting somebody in. She is blocking it and judging somebody in front of this doorway. This is indicative of you needing to actually pass more judgment upon those in which you give access to yourself and your life and your blessings. you're not being picky enough in this sense. You think it's rude or mean. Society has got you confused, has got you all twisted into thinking that everybody needs to be able to access you, especially in today's culture of social media. Everybody is not entitled to having access to you and your blessings and your talents, your skills, your expertise, your energy, whatever it may be that you possess, your brain, your mind, your heart, your soul, okay, your body, all of these things. You need to start judging those more harshly, because you have been giving energy away to people who do not deserve it. It's time to start denying those access who are not worthy. Only those who are worthy are given the key. And the key can be revoked at any time. Do not forget that the key can be revoked at any time. You can take the key back. You should always double check in every so often with people and your spirit guides and your higher self to see if people begin to change how they behave towards you and your life, your energy. Are they still worthy? If not, it's time to take the key back. I'm also going to be, in a few moments, this is my interpretation with my spirit guides and from what Freyja is telling me about the cards. I will in a few minutes pick up the guidebook. Actually, this is the deck I'm using today, by the way. Norse Goddess Rune Oracle by Rebecca Joy Stark. Artwork by Sharon McLeod. Okay, Divine Feminine Perspectives on the Elder Futhark. Okay, this is the deck. I'll be utilizing the guidebook in a moment to actually read you a little bit of the wisdom from the guidebook that I think is key here as well. Now, again, you could also see that here we've got a sin. It also is on her dress. I don't know if you can see this. There you go. You can see on the bottom of her dress, it is basically embroidered with this algae smirk staff, right? You could see it in her center of her dress here as well. Okay. Many symbols of algae upon her physical vessel, okay? Not just around her externally. So this is about your physical vessel as well, not just about who you surround yourself with, who you give access in interacting with your physical vessel. For some of you, this will be relationships, romantic relationships. Also, your physical vessel, this could be wherever your physical vessel goes, making sure that you are anointing yourself and blessing yourself, protecting yourself with talismans. You could see that she is wearing talismans upon herself, making sure that you are anointing yourself with protective symbols and sigils, such as the algis right side up and even right side down, because symbols are powerful. And this may be the language and magical symbols that my own ancestors use, but there are other symbols in other cultures that may be similar or have the same meaning that you may need to use, that may be more associated with your ancestors and be powerful for you. So you'll need to know those, and you'll need to start utilizing those in your life, because not utilizing those in your life and not being aware of them, you are lost in the sauce of the matrix. You believe, a lot of you, not everybody, but a lot of you believe that ignorance and avoidance and not thinking about it alone is enough. And trust me, there are people out there who, they know all this stuff. They learn this stuff, and they'll use their own magic against you, even if you're avoiding, ignoring, not thinking about it. They're thinking and working against you, thinking about you. So spiritually, energetically, it is important for you to protect your spiritual body, not just your physical body, your spiritual body as well. And also here, you may want to, if you're having trouble with that, you need to, again, get in touch with somebody who knows how to utilize these things in your life, or who may be able to assist in other ways with spiritual magical workings that can help you with people who are unjust, people who won't give you the key back or have a problem with you revoking access, and who continue to violate your boundaries. If you've set them and they have a problem with that, if they become difficult, violent, they're saying to seek out your own magic. If you're unable to do that, if you're not interested or overwhelmed by doing that, seek out someone who is able to help you with defensive and protective magic. Last here is Urus. Urus meaning power, the primal creative force, as well as the gateway. On this card, it also says here it represents strength, health, and transition. So a very powerful rune. Urus is one of the runes that I use and I have been using for over a year now in my own health. I've seen a lot of movement forward utilizing my own spiritual, magical symbols of my ancestors and my own health progress. So here, this is Avumbla. Avumbla is the primordial cow of Norse mythology. She's actually technically higher than all of the other gods because she came before them. And she helped give birth through licking of this licking of this salt block to the first gods, the first Aesir. So this primordial goddess represents nourishment as well, having everything within you already for the best life that you could possibly desire. However, if you, again, looking at the supportive cards around it, right, looking at what needs to be done first, they come before it. The first message meaning divine connection, interpreting messages better that are trying to be sent to you by your spirit guides and your ancestors, being more cautious and limiting who doesn't have access to your energy is necessary in order for you to be able to get in touch and in tune and access what is deep within you. You're too distracted by this, which is why you need to focus on the messages and getting to it with getting clear on what the messages you are receiving from your ancestors and your spirit guides are first. And like I said, if you are having trouble interpreting them, seek counsel with somebody who is able to help you with this, who is a professional, either a psychic, a shaman in your tradition, or one that you feel very called to, who is able to help interpret this, or able to give a reading that will confirm the things you're seeing. When you're divinely guided, the person that you do sit with to get a reading will have the message that confirms the things and clarifies the things you're seeing, okay? The Algis Merkstav, right, is, again, telling you that there are people around you that you need to begin limiting and setting boundaries with and revoking access, taking their keys back to your life, because they are pulling on your energy, which is not elevating you, which is de-escalating you up the ascension ladder in life. So when it comes to you having the strength and the creative force and the gateway to everything you desire to manifest, you need to address this first before this can happen. This is in the way. You need to honor your ancestors as well if you don't already, because that is the first key into the spiritual elevation and to the spiritual journey, period, is the ancestors. They are the way to everything else. So before you can get to here, to being able to access all of the things that you desire that you do have within yourself. You need to peel the layers back of all the external people, things, situations, worries, people in work, people in your personal life, the job even that you may work may be something that is pulling on your energy in such a way that is depleting, that it no longer is the place for you to be. And you need to remove yourself from that in order to be able to be protected. Because if you continue to be in a place that is very toxic, and you have to allow people to have energy to you because of the job, this is important information coming in. If you're in a place that is very toxic, that is pulling on your energy so much, and you are depleted so much by people around you that are unhealthy, that don't deserve access to you, and you're being forced to work with them, then it is time for you. It is time right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, to begin looking for a new opportunity in something that is more aligned. And you need to be judging that new opportunity by the type of work you will be doing, not just about the pay. The pay right now, even if you're in a job that pays well, if it is depleting you energetically, then it is not an equal exchange. Okay, if you are more depleted, more unhealthy coming out of that job, the pay, even a higher pay, is not going to make it any better. So if that's the case, you need to reassess your career and your job to make it more balanced, where what you are being paid is an equal energy exchange for what you're being asked to do and the energy you're asked to give to others in the workplace, okay? Or the energy you're exposed to in the workplace from others. If it is not equal energy, you need to leave, and soon. Because if you don't, you will not access your full potential. You will be depleted constantly, and your ancestors will keep having to try to give you messages that you can't understand. And the messages are having to do with what you need to do to no longer feel depleted. But if you stay here in all the noise, giving your energy away, letting your energy polluted by all these people and situations that are unhealthy, and you don't pull your energy back so you can just be in good health and be nourished by by life and by earth. You need grounding. You need earth in your life. You need you in your full power. And you won't be able to access this while you are not limiting who has access to you. Because they are getting access to all your goodness, and you are left without it. In order to get to full potential, you need to be able to have all of your own energy back, all of your own bits and pieces of your soul. Other people may have pulled upon. Other people may have created unhealthy, unhappy, dangerous situations, stressful situations in your past that are pulling on your energetic reserves, that are pulling on pieces of your soul. Your soul can fragment. And this is where anybody who has trauma needs to make sure that you are doing the spiritual work necessary. And if you are able or aware of how to do this through meditations yourself, through different healing modalities yourself, then find somebody who is capable of this, who is very knowledgeable of this, that can help you to remove cords, to do what's called soul retrieval, to do generational curse breaking, if this has been inherited by your family, okay? So that you can have all the pieces of you back, all of your energy back, okay? So that you can be whole and complete. You could be like the primordial goddess Alula, who in and of herself has everything that she needs with earth, and just herself, she has everything she needs. She doesn't need all these other people. She doesn't need anything but herself and the earth. But from herself and from what she's gotten from the earth and what she creates within herself, she nourishes life for all of us, for all of the primordial, all of the other gods and goddesses to be created, and all of their descendants, all of us, the children of Odin, okay, the children of Freyja, to be created and to be able to then create lineages of our own for many, 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 many generations, for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay? But how can you tap into this? By doing this. Okay? How can you get you back? A fully nourished, healthy, strong, happy you? You have to connect back again with your ancestors, reserve your energy, conserve your energy, and pull it back into you to rebuild yourself back up in strength, to spend more time with yourself, and to spend more time with Earth. Without Earth, without the ancestors, and without all of your energy back, you will not be able to have full health. You will not be in your strongest form, your highest form. This is a transformation that is awaiting to happen. But there are steps to complete first. This transformation awaits you. Your creative energy, the energy towards what you want to do most in life, awaits you. But you have to do this first. Okay. These are the steps that people want to skip over. You can't skip over them anymore. Before, people could, but they just ended up creating more trauma. The more that they did that, the more problems they created in the long term for their mental health, for their physical health. People don't recognize enough that your physical health, the state of your physical health, is a result of all of the other stuff that you didn't want to do spiritually, energetically, mentally, and emotionally. Okay? Because the energy is being pulled from your physical health at that point. When you skip over all of the healing, all of the spiritual work, all of the divine connection work, with all the honoring, without the protection and honor of your ancestors and elevation of your ancestors, people were able to go, for the last few hundred years, were able to kind of move forward in an industrialized society and a technologically advancing society. We're moving at a faster pace. Your energy is being depleted faster and faster. You have more toxins, physically toxins, in your life, in the world out there, than your body's ever had to handle as well. And when you if you have that on top of the mental and the emotion. So, again, we got cut off because my phone filled up with storage. So I had to address that. But where I was leaving off was, you won't be able to get to here until you address this and this, correct? So this represents you being in your highest self. And this is a transition that you'll have to go through of pulling things away, cutting away all the cords, all the negative attachments to people, places, things that don't serve you anymore, setting boundaries, having those conversations that you don't need to have that may be difficult with people you love or care about. And if they don't respect it, cutting ties, moving on with your life for you. These are things that have to be done. And if you fail to do them, you will fail to reach your fullest potential, to manifest the things that you want, because the creative forces that support manifestation, which Dumbala possesses, the creative force, she has all of her own nourishment. She has it all within her. But if you fail to do these things, then you're giving your creative force away to others who are unworthy, who are literally stealing your life force, so that you aren't able to have it for yourself to manifest what you want because you're depleted. So these are your keys. This is your message. Do with it what you will. I am just the messenger. This is just my interpretation. There are other meanings to the cards, which I'll get into here, that may be helpful and supportive for you. We'll start with Ansus. This is from the actual Norse Goddess Rune Oracle book. I'll start with the Ansus, meaning in the books, interpretation here, it gives a little poem. It says, I am Volva. Volva is the divine sorceress, Seath practitioner. Seath is the witchcraft and the magic practices of the Norse people. So, I am Volva. My power is great. Olvin seeks my counsel to learn of his fate. Seath, I practice, my words speak true. May Ansus bring wisdom and guidance to you. The lore that they provide here is Volva, the name given to a Norse seeress who practiced Seath. Volva prophesies the fate of men and gods using her shamanic power to traverse the boundaries between the realms. Volva traveling the roots and branches of Yggdrasil, the ancestor tree, to access wisdom before relaying the messages back. The divination meaning that they provide in the book, which is what I'm going to skip forward to just give you a little bit more support of the message, is Ansus is the rune of communication, meaning God or mouth. It represents a divine message being received. It is the power of wisdom seeking, the ability to ask questions, and the preparation required to receive the answers. It symbolizes communication with others, opens up our experiences to take in divine messages and signs from beyond our realm. It enables us to recognize that body language and actions speak louder than words. Perhaps you're receiving spiritual messages, divine synchronicities that you may not yet understand. Meditation and awareness can help to clarify those messages being sent your way. As the rune assigned to the Allfather Odin, Ansus represents divine wisdom and seeking guidance from those who have the knowledge and skills to guide your path. This can take the form of counselor, therapist, trusted friend, colleague, or spiritual advisor. Asking for help takes strength and courage. Allow your voice to bring into your life what you need in order to flourish. This part I like a lot. Ansus reminds us that we are gifted with 2 ears and 1 mouth, guiding us to listen twice as much as we speak. Communicate with the intent to understand, not to be heard. Allow yourself the opportunity to truly comprehend the messages you are being sent, regardless of communication method. Perhaps you prefer to stay silent when deep down your soul is screaming to be heard. Be clear in your communication with others. Do not be afraid to speak your truth. Words are the spells, and the magic you weave is powerful. Speak with caution and sincerity. I think that also helps tie in the Agis Mörkstav here with, if you're setting boundaries, you need to know how to communicate, which is why this card came up first. You need to know how to clearly, effectively, honestly, not beating around the bush. You need to honestly communicate. Sometimes also people can get a little bit too focused on assumptions and self, that they don't allow for another person to communicate back in a healthy manner. If they're violent, belligerent, disrespectful, dismissive, that's a different story. But if somebody is honestly just not aware of how they may make you feel, or honestly not intending to make you stressed out, or not intending to overstep your boundaries, make sure you do give them a chance to communicate. And then your intuition and your spirit guides and higher self can help you judge their words and help you judge their body language and their energy to see if they're sincere. But it's important to not just be dismissive as well. That is what I'm getting from this. Not to just assume and to focus on what you want alone and your view alone. Because a lot of the spiritual advice is to just cut cords and to cut off people. However, that can be toxic to them, because some people truly do not have awareness of energy, and it may be that you are meant to bring them the lesson of awareness in a kind way, in a respectful way. But it does not mean that you have to, even if they are not intending to be that way. It doesn't mean you have to keep the connection, but at least hear them out if they are willing to have a respectful conversation about it, and set your boundaries or cut the cords if need be. Now, let's move on to Agis. Agis Mörkstav. I am Sin, goddess of the entry. I keep the home safe. Holding strong, I stand sentry. I refuse entry to those who are not true. May Agis Mörkstav help to defend you. In the lore, Sin, goddess of the entryway, who holds the keys to the hall. Sin, setter of trials to prove the mettle of those who wish to dispute or refute a judgment. Sin, defender of those within by locking the doors to those who do not hold a place in a hall, denying entry to those who wish to bring ill will. The divination meaning. Agis Merkstav is the rune of refusal. It is symbolic of protecting yourself by using the power of your voice, making your intentions clear, and learning the art of saying no. It signifies denial, denying access to others who wish to bring ill will or disharmony to your life. It reminds you that now is time to speak up, defend yourself with assertiveness, and protect your well-being. Stand in your power, as you are vastly more powerful than you realize. Set firm boundaries, be clear in your expectations of others, and refuse to work with those who seek to cross boundaries that you have established. So yeah, just reiterating what I just said, communicate with those who don't wish you ill will, have good conversation, respectful conversation, and of course judge their energy, their words, their body language, and see if that's something that can be a healthy relationship to keep, healthy partnership, friendship, business relationship, whatever to keep. But if not, time to refuse them access and to move on. You hold the keys to your door, the keys to your heart and the keys to your soul. Allows your words and actions to defend your dignity. Where Algis is the rune of protecting all that you hold dear, Algis Merkstav is denying access to things that don't fill your cup. It is protection through refusal, refusing to allow negativity to impact your life any further. Be clear with what you will allow and what you will not. Protect yourself and your loved ones from harm. For now is the time to call upon your ancestors and guides for divine intervention and support. And then, like I said, if you're having problems doing this, you can reach out to either myself or my spouse, who has webinars on these topics that are available for purchase. You can, I'll drop the link to that for my spouse in the description box below. And you can purchase her ancestor webinar so that you'll know how to venerate your ancestors, communicate with your ancestors, etc. So there are resources, there are tools available to you. But of course, always try to check back with your lineage, your bloodline first, and see what they may have practiced, who may have any knowledge of your ancestral practices. So if you are able to do that within your own bloodline, that's probably the best way for you to start out with honoring your ancestors and getting to know your dearly departed and your ancestors and the ancestral traditions that you hail from. But if you don't have that available to you, as a lot of people come from broken bloodlines and lineages, then you can always check the description box below for some resources on that may be able to help you. Stand up for those who are defenseless. Stand sentry at their hall until they regain their strength and capacity to refuse others from bringing harm. Denounce the actions of those who bring others down. Stand firm and strong in your conviction to tear down those who wish to suppress and oppress your kin. Seek divine protection. Allow the elk to provide spiritual guidance and defense as you call in the power of those who shelter and keep you safe. The elk meaning looks similar here to the horns that she wears on her head. The Algis rune looks similar to elk horns, correct? So that's what it's referring to. So in this sense, because you are divinely guided to watching this reading, my guide, Freyja, is giving permission to those who have good intentions towards me, this channel, to my spirit guides, who have respect, to utilize this rune. If you have respect and good intentions towards me and to my channel, to all of my work, to my spirit guides, then these runes will help you. And you have permission to use them, and they will help you. If you have ill intentions towards me, my spirit guides, and my work, they will not help you. They will work against you. Heed that. Now let's go on to the last one. Urus. Again, Adumbla. I am Adumbla, primordial beast. I am the beginning, my milk is the feast. For Ymir the Jotun, I nourish creation. May Urus bring strength for your transformation. Now, Jotun, Ymir is the first of the Aesir gods to be born. Okay, he is what they would consider one of the father of Odin. Okay, and Odin's brothers. A Jotun is a giant in Norse mythology. Okay, Audumla, the primordial cow who emerges from the cataclysmic meetings of fire and ice. Adumbla, appearing to nourish the first giant. Adumbla, cow of creation, who licks a rime-covered block, revealing the first of the Aesir, meaning Ymir. So we'll go into divination meaning. Urus is the rune of strength, meaning Aurochs. It represents the large ox-like beasts that roamed the lands before extinction. The Aurochs was a symbol of brute strength, yet also a symbol of transition. A successful hunt represented transition from boyhood to manhood in ancient times, okay? And an unsuccessful hunt resulted in disappointment or even death. Urus is strong, fierce, and carefree, embodying physical strength as much as internal fortitude. Urus is the health and vitality of your youth, the strength and determination to face challenges head-on and overcome them. It reminds you to call upon your inner strength and to acknowledge that you are stronger than you think. Urus represents your health, your body that needs to be properly nourished in order to live. Check in with your well-being and identify any areas where you feel empowered, as this is your well of strength. Urus also symbolizes a transformation, leaving behind your old self in order to grow and emerge into the next phase of life. Just as creation began with the cataclysmic meeting of fire and ice, so too are you in a powerful state of transition, burning away what is old and freezing all that is unhelpful, so that you emerge re-energized and empowered, which is supported by the preceding card. You are strong, your well-being is a priority, and you have the fortitude to overcome any challenges that may arise. When you are able to get into this state, that is what you'll be. But like I said, you'll have to do the work here first. You gotta stop with the energy vampires. Stop feeding energy vampires in your life. They're literally sucking your life force. Their energy overwhelms yours, pollutes your energetic fields beyond your body. Not just in your mind, but your energetic fields are polluted by other people's thoughts, words, actions, wants, desires, blah, blah, blah. You have to get all that out so that you are clear, right? Clear and firm on what you want in life. And that is your focus. Not serving other people, not making other people happy, not keeping up with other people's lives for the sake of maintaining relationships that aren't even beneficial to you and healthy. That's your old. That if that's you and that's what you've been doing, that has to be your past. Now that you've seen this reading, that has to become your past, because your ancestors, your spirit guides have been trying to get you to let that shit go. Okay? So take this as the ultimate sign that is no longer serving you. All that bullshit has to go away. Cut it off, burn it off, freeze, whatever you have to do, however you go about it, but it has to start now. It is time. Otherwise, what the hell are you here for? It is time for you to manifest. It is time for you to create. It is time for you to live your life. It is time for you to be fully healthy. Your physical health depletes and your mental health and your emotional health depletes rapidly in this timeline that we are in, because it's so toxic and it is so unnatural. The way we live is unnatural. Get back to earth. Spend more time in earth instead of all around all these toxic people and inside your house. And see, she's outside. She's not letting people in. Also, she's outside the dwelling. Okay? You need to be outside more. Your ancestors, they didn't sit in these comfortable houses with carpets and rugs. And the majority of your ancestors, only the ones within the last maybe 200 years, okay, had carpets and rugs. 300 years ago, there really wasn't no carpets and many rugs. It wasn't full carpets. It wasn't insulated. It wasn't air conditioned. Okay, we have too many comforts that we are now comfortable with being inside instead of out in our actual natural habitat, which is nature. The ancestors dwelled in nature. You are meant to spend the majority of your time in nature. You need to find the balance, okay, between where you're at and what you want to achieve in this lifetime, in this timeline, okay, right now, in our modern day world. So you need to find the balance of that with the old ways, okay? The Norse gods are called the old gods, and they practice the old ways, they call it, okay? You need to get in tune with the old ways of your ancestors, or of a practice that is calling to you, that can help you get in tune with earth, spend more time with earth. Oh, that's my dragon falling off of his perch. Spend more time in earth, because without earth, you are ungrounded, meaning you're literally depleting your body, okay, of the negative ions that it needs and the electrons, right, that it needs to thrive and to be healthy. Because you're inside all the time, because you're surrounded by EMFs, these Wi-Fi and these Bluetooth devices, they harm your physical vessel. They also create oxidative stress in your body, which affects your levels of toxicity, which affects your levels and your bacteria in your gut. So I can go on and deep into this from a medical standpoint, because I've learned from my own experience how debilitating being ungrounded can be. Okay, it is imperative that you get grounded, that you spend more time in nature. Put your hands, your feet, your body on the trees, on the grass, in the soil, in the sand, in the water as well. Particularly running water. Okay, not still water. If you've been ungrounded for a long time, you need more running water. Okay, and you need more earth. You don't need as much fire and as much air as you need earth and running water right now. Very, very, very important for you. That is the message today. Many blessings to you all. If you're looking for private one-on-one shamanic reading sessions with me and rune castings, or you're interested in spiritual conjure work, spell work, and protection work and more, you can always book a spiritual consultation with me at the link in the description box, samthespiritist.com. I am Sam the Spiritist. Thank you for being with me and my guides today. Many blessings to you always. And remember, you create your reality.